This is the crossroads. Now, as we move forward, I've started thinking about developing a battle plan. When I took the superintendents to Gettysburg, I found something that I really wasn't looking for. I was actually just taking them to a leadership seminar. We were the first public education entity ever to get access to the U.S. Army War College. And this is what this is. The War College is where people become generals. If you're a colonel or whatever, if you want to become a general, you've got to go through one of the 6 war colleges in the United States. Very, very exclusive. What this specific Army War College did is they took us to the battleground of Gettysburg, and we spent 13 hours on the battleground, and they taught us military strategy. For the moment we got off the plane, it was like being in school. We were the first public education entity ever in the history of War College to get access to it. Very, very exclusive. The superintendents absolutely loved it. I got access to a naval captain, a retired Army colonel, and a 2-star general. But something happened the first day that we met with them. They told us the theory of war and how the military goes about making a strategic plan to address any confrontation it has. They gave us a formula. They told us about an author, his name is Carl von Clausewitz, who is a military strategist that wrote a book on war back in 1874. He is the mastermind. All of the generals studied him. And what they essentially said is that there was a formula to how you go about creating the war, how you go about resolving conflict. And the formula, once my PowerPoint comes back up, there it is. I'm going to show you a picture of Carl von Clausewitz. Guys, just click it. I'll tell you when to click it. I'll stop using this. Go to Carl von Clausewitz. What Carl von Clausewitz does is give you the formula for how to go about addressing conflict. And the formula, let's go to the formula, Joe. The formula is R equals M times W. That sounds cool, doesn't it? My son really liked that. R equals M times W. Next slide. What R equal M times W means is the R stands for resistance. The M stands for means, and the W stands for will. So what our military tries to do is they want your resistance to turn to 0. The way they make your resistance turn to 0 is they attack your means or your will. The way you make R equal 0 is you got to make M or W equal 0. This was profound. I couldn't even sleep that night. That's all I thought about. So the next day, let's go next slide. The next day, I went and talked to the generals, the general and the colonel. I said, what is the method that they use to attack the M or the W? He said, there's 3 methods that we reduce your means or your will to 0. Next slide. The first method is annihilation. You'll see the U.S. do a bombing campaign. Something can be annihilated completely and then it's over. The next method, next slide, is attrition. Attrition is when something, the Army typically lands into your country and sets up shop in the middle of your country and it grows. We'll create a city inside your country. That's the most common strategy the U.S. Army uses. They'll take over your airports, and then they'll fly plane after plane after plane, and they'll set up a city in the middle of your country. Next slide. The final strategy is exhaustion. Exhaustion is really the U.S. Army's greatest weakness. It's the ability to resist all of those things. So during the presentation, what I started thinking about is the bills to abolish us are essentially the theory of annihilation. We've been hit constantly with the theory of annihilation. So I went to the general, I went to the colonel, and I said, look, let me explain to you my organization. This is what we are, blah, blah, blah. What is the best strategy for me as a leader to use to help protect us? He said, James, you need to use the theory of exhaustion. I said, okay, what does that look like? Next slide. Next. I said, how do you do that? He said, the first thing is you've got to win more battles than you lose. If you have 100 battles, you've got to win 51 of them. If you have 1,000 battles, you've got to win 501. You cannot lose more than you win. So I felt good about that. I was like, well, I think we're way ahead of schedule. We've won far more battles than we've lost. Next. The next theory for exhaustion to win is you need to have infinite will. Infinite will. The general said, Mr. Colbert, you can't get tired. Your folks have got to be able to stand in it for the long fight. Not only can you not get tired, you can't ever show that you're getting tired, because the people who want to do you harm, when you show them that you're getting tired, it motivates them to stay in the fight. You've got to exhaust your opponents. Let's go to the next slide. So what does that look like for us? What does means look like to Harris County Department of Ed? Our means is our skill set. It's what y'all bring to work every single day. It's the knowledge that you bring. It's the services that you provide. It's your skill that you provide to our clients every single day. The next component of means is our love for what we do. Like I said before, we could do many other things, but we choose to do this. Next component of our means is our capacity to provide service. That's in existence. We have a framework and the systems to be able to provide service to every school district in the entire county. No matter what they ask for, we can make something to address their needs. And finally, it's our positive impact we have on students. That's our means. Our means is not what my concern is about. The concern is with will. Let's talk about that. Here we go, it's working now. Our will, what does that look like? Our will is our fortitude. Fortitude is your ability to handle punishment, your tolerance for pain. It's our tenacity. That is more of a mental, that's emotional strength. That's your ability to deal with discomfort mentally. Next is staying focused when faced with a threat. We've got to be able to stand tall whenever we are faced with a threat. And finally, it's our desire to fight for what we believe in. So the strategy in order to fight and deal with the resistance that we've been faced with is we have got to use the theory of exhaustion. And in order to win with the theory of exhaustion, we have to have infinite will. Next slide. So the theory is, right now, I've heard it said, and I'll just be honest with you, some think that the entire Department of Ed will topple over in 5 months. I've had people who think that it will topple over in a year or 2 years. The question is will we let it? Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about James Colbert. I have infinite will. I'll stand 10 toes down and dare you to take me off my square. Where I've grown up at, I was taught don't back down easy from anything. As someone comes to you, you step to them, you don't step back. That's how I was brought up. Before I came on stage, I had someone stop me and thank me for the comments that I made during the Senate. I said it's very easy to speak on and protect things when you know you're doing right. It's harder to talk about stuff when you know you're doing wrong and you're trying to lie. Folks, I need your help. We're going to forget the PowerPoint. I'm just going to talk. I'm tired of the clicker. Here's the problem. As your superintendent, I promise you I will do everything in my power to protect every single person sitting in this room. But I need your help. I can't do that by myself. Now, I know what my will looks like. My question is, what does yours look like? I've got infinite will. I'm going nowhere. My question to you, will you be standing behind me when it's time to step up? You ever know you was getting into a fight and all your friends are supposed to come help you, and then as soon as it's time to fight, they got chores to do? Then mama said they gotta wash the dishes and cut the grass? I need for y'all not to have chores. I'm asking you, do you honestly think this place will topple over in 5 months? I'm sorry, I did not hear it. How about a year? I heard not ever. I like that. How about not ever? There may become a time when you are expected to demonstrate that. We are all on the front line, they're just different. There may become a time when people are going to test your tenacity and will. I don't know an individual in this building breaking any law. Everybody that I represent is advocating for young people. Everybody that I represent is fearless and willing to do what's right to help our society. We've done nothing wrong. Give me a reason why we should go away. No one can give me a reason for that. So what I'm saying to you is we have got to stick together as a department. There needs to be more than just me representing and defending your positions and what you do. And there may be a time where you need to step up and show people you're not going anywhere. I promise you, I am fearless. I don't care. You can't hurt me. And I got 1,000 people who are just like me, and they're sitting in this room. So the means part, we will continue to do because you do that every single day. But I want you to think about the issue of will. Part of the problems that we have is that the small few, the squeaking wheel, get all the attention. How often are we always making, people are attacking educators and people trying to do the right thing for other people? Sure, we make mistakes. Always under attack, but we never fight back. Sometimes we sit and we're quiet. We don't say anything. There may come a time where you need to step up and step even to the mic and speak up, show up someplace and advocate for what you do. It's more than your job because, like I said before, we could work a lot of places and probably make more money. We choose to do this. We've had people working here for 25 years. They could have gone many different places. We choose to do this. I'll wrap it up by saying this. When y'all leave, there'll be lanyards out there that you can wear. And the lanyards say, value, opportunity, and service. And on those lanyards, they're all yours for free. They also have R equals M times W. And it explains what that means. You need to remember that. If you're buying into what I'm saying, and you're willing to do what's necessary to advocate for the department, not just yourself and your position, wear the lanyard. When I come around to your campuses or divisions, I'd love to see you wearing that lanyard. But at the end of the day, we're going to have a fantastic year. And we're going to keep fighting for kids and educators just like we do every single year. I'll end this by saying, I appreciate you. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. Folks, I love you. I'll get you back any day. Let's have a great year.